There it goes. We're live. Hey everybody, sorry for the delay. Had to move things around this morning because I have my son with me who doesn't want to be on camera. So we shuffled some things from the studio to the dining room, which I'm sure a lot of you are doing. So, Bunny is what we're painting today, an Easter Bunny. Here he is. Can you see him? He's probably backwards because of the way I have the camera, but you'll see him on my paper. So the first thing we're going to do today is sketch him on the canvas. I'm not going to do a detailed sketch. We're just going to, let's see, for right now I'm just going to mark where I want his ears to stop because I don't want him to stop at the edge of the page. You can if you want to run him off. And his feet stop a little bit before the edge. So I'm going to give it a top and a bottom dimension. And if you look at it, let me see, it's about honestly, it's about halfway, maybe a little less than half, about a third of the way to half is the head, but we got to give room for the ears. So let's do this. The ears are so big, let's mark off where our ears are going to stop. They're going to stop right about in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make an oval. It's always easier for me to do this alone than it is to do on camera for some reason. And I'm making kind of a rounded oval. It's not too oval, just kind of following the shape of his face. And then another big circle, almost like a snowman, for the shape of his body. And then we'll give that the details later. So if you just kind of... I have a crooked snowman. Let's try him again. Just need to make him a little wider. All right. All right. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just go around your circles over and over until you get it where you want. I do kind of want to give some indication of where his ears are. I like to start with the negative space, which means the space in between his ears, right here, that you don't see. If you look at that, you can make a V. And that'll give you a perfect outline to where your ears need to go and the proper space in between. Okay, and then right around here, you're just gonna, ears are basically like big long triangles, but they kind of curve on the outside. Now the right one curves slightly out. If you look at the left one, it's curving slightly in. So getting a little drawing class with this today too. All right, and of course down at the bottom I'm going to put in some little feet, so you're going to come along with the curve where that foot is. It just kind of curves down into the outer, let's see, circular part of the body. Now on the right, if you look, he's got a circle coming where his chest is, and then you can extend that circle out to where the back of the bunny's body is. All right, and then I'm just going to kind of slightly angle the inside of the feet. You can look at the picture and see how they're angled. And that's it. So from there, excuse me, I'm going to go to my palette. So I'm going to move everything over here for a minute to the palette. Hope that the cameras stay put. I'm working with two cameras, so bear with me here. This will be on YouTube whenever I get it uploaded. Last week it took me 3 days. It was insane. This isn't wanting to stay. I don't know why it's not tightening. I'll just move it for a minute there. All right. And I'll give you, those of you at home, a little bit while I'm doing this to let's come over to the palette here. Is that the palette? Yeah, that's a palette. Can't see very well in here. Okay, so I'm going to step around. Let's see, with the bunny, I think we're going to put some green in the back. Oh my God, I loaded the wrong green on here already. If you have sap green, it's cool. If you just have blue and yellow, you can mix blue and red, or blue and, that'll give you purple. Blue and yellow to get you some green. And those of you that are artists, you know, you may want to toy around with your blues and yellows to get various shades of green. But for beginners and those at home doing this for fun, get whatever green you want. Let's see. I am going to put out some, I'm going to put just a pinch of orange on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it much, but so I'm just going to put a pinch. Same with the yellow, which I think I probably will use, but we'll go there later. Artists or anybody that has more of a variety of paints at home. This is raw sienna. It's probably reading backwards because I have it on selfie, so I can make sure that everything's in view here. Okay, so we're going to do some raw sienna, and I think there's a fair amount of that in the bunny, so I'm going to put a fair amount onto my palette. And I'm also going to use some purple. I like dioxazine purple right here. Those of you watching, again, just I have two cameras, so if you don't see everything right away, I'm focusing on two cameras here. Okay, so that was, let's see, we did raw sienna earlier. I'm also going to do some burnt sienna. I'm probably going to, now that I think about it, burnt sienna and the violet, I'm probably going to use a lot of it. If you don't have them at home, don't worry. You can mix to get those colors. Let me see. It definitely has an orange undertone. You want to do, let me look here. Let me look at the color chart and help you out. You don't want to use orange. I think it's some orange. Let me take a look here. What can I do with an orange to get close to that? Orange and burnt sienna. Yeah, you know, I would just have to have my other color charts, which are not down here right now. You could try and play around with some orange, and you can add a little bit more red. A pinch of, try to pinch of blue, because that's going to give you a little bit more of your brown. It's going to tone it down. Just a light pinch. Too much is going to make it muddy and gray. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. All right, there's that. I'm back. You know what? I bet the light is from the windows is throwing off the color here. It'll be all right when I turn it back around. All right, so I was spot on with guessing the cat orange. If you add a little bit of blue and ultramarine, if you have it, again, if you're not an artist, just pick whatever blue you have, but they have different shades and can affect your color different. There's warm blues, cool blues. It all goes into color theory. We're not going to get into that. Right here. There you go. So you're going to get a pretty cool color if you mix ultramarine blue, which I don't have probably showing. It's backwards. Ultramarine and cat orange. There you go. Okay, so I've got some white. How's it going over there, Zach? You don't have to sketch it perfect. Just get the outline.
I like it.
There's a lot of times if you sketch it perfect, you're going to cover it up again when you paint it. Okay, that's fine. I'm telling the audience too. Some artists like to work from a perfect sketch, and it's almost like they sketch it out in detail, and it's almost like a paint by numbers. And those are usually your real detailed artist, which I have a tendency to lean that way, but I'm breaking away from that just a pinch. I feel a little bit more creative the way I approach my work now. Okay, I'm sure I'm going to add more colors. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and get some of that ultramarine out. I've got dried up paint. What I'm doing right now is I have dried up paint around the, there it goes again. I'm getting the chunks off of my palette, basically. All right, I don't like that to end up in my paint. All right, so We have those. Should be a good start. All right. So let's go back to the canvas. I'm going to readjust the camera so we can see canvas here. This will be on replay, like I said, when I get it on YouTube. It's also going to be on my Facebook page until then. And if you want to know when it's going to be on YouTube, just check out my blog on tinasfinearts.com. You can also, through Facebook and my blog, you can see the photo we're working from if you need that for reference. Now, to start out, I am going to okay, so I'm going to go into this raw sienna. And if you're painting with oils, make sure your room's ventilated. If you have odorless mineral spirits or turpentine, which I keep in one of these and I keep it covered when I'm using it, it just thins the paint a lot to get your outlines on your canvas. Acrylics, water, just a little bit more water. And then you're going to go back over it later. So I'm going to make this mixture really, really thin and just kind of, I'm just going to cover, this is going to end up probably being a different color in the end, but for now I'm just getting colors in. I'm outlining for now, just so it doesn't blend too much with my image. Another reason that's good for this too is if you have these canvas panels, they're different than the artist grade canvas. They absorb a lot more of your paint, so this gets a little bit more down so that it just doesn't, it's a lot easier to work with. Your paint will flow on the surface smoother. Just make sure you have a well ventilated room, which I don't. I probably should have cracked the window. But I'm in a big room, so it's okay, I think, for now. Okay, just make sure that everything's showing up here. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, here's the bunny. Okay. My son's still sketching next to me. I'm getting tickled at him. He likes to get detailed like I do. But then after a while you realize it's more fun when you're not so detailed. Alright, and then, okay, so while I'm in the sienna, I'm going to keep it there with my mineral spirits, but I'm going to go a little darker. See around his little feet right here? It just kind of breaks up where that, you see the circle around his feet? Right here where his chest meets, it kind of breaks it up. So if you just take your brush, lay it like that, it'll fill right in there for you. And then, see his little feet end right about in here. It all looks the same color, it's fine, we'll figure it out later. You give up, Zach?
What?
You give up already?
No.
You moving sides?
No. What a background color at?
Oh, you got mixtures with acrylic. It's all over there. So lay out, see if you have similar colors. You definitely want like a sienna, brown, yellow, orange.
Oh, I don't know what a sienna is.
It'll tell you on the tubes. Okay, see, okay, sorry. Here we go. All right, so from there, let's see. Got a little bit more under his chin, on his chest. Kind of goes in here this way. All right, so there, we're getting that. Oh, eyes. I forgot to put the eyes in. You know what, usually I do that first. Excuse me, I have an untied shoe I'm tripping on while I'm walking around. And a sniffly allergy nose. All right, so, okay, top of him is, he's got various colors in his fur, so I'm looking, I think we're just gonna go a real, let's try to mix some color. Huh? You give up?
Yeah.
You're too tired, aren't you?
No, I'm so confused.
You are.
Yes.
What did I confuse you on? You took.
Oh, I'm confusing myself.
Yeah, you're too tired. Okay. So I'm mixing a purple. I'm sorry if you're seeing my shoulder here. So let's take the cameras back to the palette for a minute. I'll show you what I'm doing there. See it? Okay. We can go back. One show here, person, so I am trying to give you as clear of a view as I can. Excuse my sniffly allergies. Okay, so I'm gonna go with some purple, and I got him a little darker. Put more white in there. I want it a little bit more blue, so I added a pinch of blue. It's actually graying down the purple a little bit. There's a little bit more. All right. And this is my preference, what I'm doing. I'm going to try a little something here. I'm trying to add a little bit of orange to the purple just to dull the color a pinch. And I mean, if you saw me, I just took a tiny touch of the cat orange and added to the dioxazine purple, mixed with white, and just a little bit of ultramarine blue. And if you can see, I'm trying to get it up here, it grayed my color down nicely. There we are. This is hard to do this backwards. All right, so I'm going to work with that first because he, in the picture, has darker fur laying over. So, okay, we're going to go back to the canvas. I'm going to adjust my cameras here. All right, there we are. There's one. So I moved a little something like that. Hey, Jody, what's up, girlfriend? Luna Del Rey. I know your real name. You're painting with me? Okay. This brush is really cool. It's a good brush for almost the entire painting. And this is called a filbert. It's got a little, if you ever go shopping for brushes anywhere, this is a filbert. It's got a little round head to it. But you can really get a lot of, I'm going to go to the other camera and show. You can do a lot with this. These are great for florals and a lot of different things. I'll show you the difference of the three brushes right now. This is a bright. It's like a flat. A flat is the same thing, but it's a little bit longer than this. This is a fan brush. Oh yeah, well, yeah. And this is a flat. Yeah, this is number 4. Flat. I think it's a flat. I can't tell by the tips there. Might be a filbert. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with him. Maybe a little bit bigger brush here. Let's try this one. This is a filbert. And back into the medium. So it spreads on your canvas. Go into your violet hue. And just, let's go paint these ears in. And if you look at the bunny, let's get the ears first. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now here, I'm just going to do the outside of this ear because if you look at the inside, it's kind of gold, okay? It's pretty gold. So I'm just going to do the outside of the ear right here. All right here. Let's see, we're working on his face in it. This will be, okay. So it's like a little upside down V, but if you look at the angle, you see a little bit more of the right side of his face, which I'm going to go ahead and just outline right here. So where you outlined your ear, you're going to curve in here, come down, and he's got like chubby cheeks right here, okay? Actually, kind of comes out a little bit more. So I think I'm going to be making his body a little bit wider later on, which is fine because I had a loose sketch and that allows me to be flexible on my canvas. Okay. So there, his face is starting to take shape a little. To differentiate that, I'm playing with my palette for a minute before I tell you what to do next, okay? If you have that red mixture, the burnt sienna, or the one where you mix the cat orange and the ultramarine, what you want to do is add a little bit of that to your violet. I had a bristle there I pulled out first. I'm going to darken this right there, okay? And then, now the outside of his ear is catching some light, but right here on this edge is dark. And it goes inside, not on the outside. Come down here to the inside. And right there. You could just kind of pull this way and it'll give you a little bit of direction. The lines will give you a little bit of direction in your fur. You could change these colors. You could use them, hey, if you don't have these colors, you could just use dark brown and light brown. Don't stress over it. I probably should have reminded you that in the beginning. So I'm just going by what I like to use here as an artist. Okay, so we got that. There's a, see, it comes down here. So I'm gonna go right about where his, I'm gonna, see, it comes out here. Try and lay in a little bit of where my eye is. Just because it's dark, that doesn't mean it's that it's going to be this color later on, okay? All right, here we go. And I'm going to go down here and get the nose. And it's basically, like I said, it's value. It's a darker color, it's letting me know where things are. I can go change this color later. Now if you saw, this brush is round, which is good for these curves. So it starts up around the eye, comes down, rounds a little bit here. It's like a V. Comes back over here. Got it? All right, now just to smooth that out, I'm going to go in with my brush here and I'm just going to, whoops, I didn't mean to do it like that. Pull up. It's okay, we can fix it all later. That's what I like about oils. They're very forgiving. Okay. So right here on the bunny, and he comes out again. All right. What I'm going to start doing is outlining his body. So here, we got right about here. Over here, I realize I have to make him a little chubbier. It's the way he's sitting. So I'm going to come out like so. Right under his chin. It curves from around his chin, curves out like a half moon, Luna. See you watching. At the waxing or waiting phase. I'm terrible. Okay, and that separates his little chest. And you can pull this out here. He has another line. I'm just going to make it solid right now. We'll figure it out later. Okay, so make it easy maybe if some of the kids are whatever following. Now from here, here's a fun thing. You can just add a little bit of white because you're already, I'm sorry, some new brush and I keep getting loose bristles in it. These are good too if you, they're not too expensive. They're really good. I get them at Michael's. This is a level 1. Simply Simmons. These are good. I would say intermediate brush. It's not quite beginner. The beginner brushes just mess up and tear up on you. It's just, I really don't like them unless I'm doing something like foliage with them because I like the messy brushes for those. All right, now back to where I was, the white. So I'm going to put a little bit of white in here where I saw it. I don't know why I'm trying to go on the outside right now because it's not going to work. Let's see. It's a little under his nose, which, see, it's already picking up the color. Normally I'd say don't use bright white. But I already have color here, so I'm pulling a little bit of the highlight on the bottom left of his fur here, which you can't see too much because it's picked up so much color already. I'm going to back off of that, go right in here. This looks like a very flat M. Look at the light shadow. Let me get the picture. Show you what I'm looking at. All right, so for here, it's like a, see this? It's like a flat M. See it? That's what I'm gonna paint right now. And then we're gonna go up, pull that in, and that blends over with these sides. So, or I may just do this part right now as a guide. And you could draw it if you want, like this, down and up and back down. I guess he would come up a little bit more here. And then from there, just start pulling. I don't like the flat edges, so normally I don't draw. I would just kind of, if you see, I'm rising above the flat edges here. I think I may have had that in the way for a minute. I apologize. Okay, and then pull a little right there, pull a little right there, and it gives you your dimension. This also, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Get some of that there. Wipe a brush or clean it if you're, may not want to clean it yet. I think just wiping will do enough. Pull this down on top. And then I'm just going to start blending these two colors because they're going to give me what I like for the most part. And if I don't, I can change it. All right. Going back to my big brush and just see if I can blend this in. Oh, he's starting to look like a bunny, but he looks pretty funky right now, don't he? Okay, I've got some gold colors right here. This is, okay. Let me get a smaller brush and work with you. This one. The bunny. We're gonna go back to his face and we're gonna work on his little face a little bit. As a matter of fact, I think I might just start putting in darks and lights and then we can finish later. So right in here, a little bit to the right is, just make a little circle there, okay? And a semi, like half circle moon thing here. I just want to gray that down. Go into your purple a little bit with that and gray it. This comes to the outside. And honestly, I think I'm going to gray this down a lot more. So by doing that, I'm going to add a little bit more blue to my mixture. The ultramarine is what I'm adding because it's kind of a reddish blue. Well, it's not, it has violet undertones, let's put it that way. So I'm adding a little bit more of that just to show a difference in color. Where am I? Let's see. Well, it's all right. I changed it up again, but that's okay. I added a little bit of sienna to that too. I didn't take it to the palette this time just because it's taken a lot of time to do that. Okay, so right around in here. He's a little gray. See how that came out nice and gray? I'll show you here. The sienna I added to, okay, first off I added a little bit of the ultramarine to the violet mixture and then added a tad sienna, a little bit of white. See if you can see. Come over here. Okay, let me see. Can you see the whole palette? Ultramarine to the violet mixture with a tad of the sienna and a pinch of white. That's how I got the gray color. He's got a lot of gray in his fur. So what I'm going to do, after I get this right cheek here, which is kind of gray, see it? Okay. He's got gray coming down in here. So I'm just pulling down, and I'm blocking you again with this, pulling down with this to wherever I see the gray. And it just goes into the light here, which is kind of cool because it just mixes it together. He has a he or she, I don't know why I'm calling it he, gray here. I'm going to stop right there because that part is supposed to be lighter here and it came out kind of dark. We got him right here. Going to make this a little bit lighter. Music entertainment brought to you by my teenage son, or my husband, whoever's playing it. This, if you go back in over what I'm doing with the brush, I'll go back. That fur kind of splits. It's going this direction and that direction, this direction. We're not getting a lot of detail right now, so I'm just basically blending. That doesn't really matter at this point. I'm just showing you some techniques for later. Okay, got a little. Let's see if I can come up with these little feet. It's really hard for me to balance a thin canvas like this. Maybe I'll just hold it up. Okay. I'm just trying to come up. And the reason for that is that line doesn't stop down at the bottom as much. This little foot just kind of blends, and there's a hair. All right. Now let's work on some eyes. If you have a brown, let's see. Great. If you don't, the way to do this, red, yellow, and blue will make brown. You're going to want a little bit more red and blue because they're darker than your yellow. You can play with it till you get brown. Otherwise, this is a burnt umber that I'm using. Okay, we're going to work on the eyes. And the eyes are, they're one of the most important parts of, it is basically the most important part of any painting. You want to make sure they're proportionate. Shoot. This is tilted and I can't get the lid on this one right. All right, so if you have a tiny, I did not bring a tiny round brush for the eyes. I did not. So I have a challenge. This is still in from my son. He quit on me. Bring him around either. There's a big round, but it's kind of big. All right. You can use your little filbert rounded edges or a round brush. This round brush is kind of big for this painting. That's why they're different sizes. This is a number 12. It's a pretty good size. So what I'm going to do is play with these two brushes and see if I can get what I need to get here. Go into that brown. Hopefully you have a brown mixed up by now if you had to mix it there at home. Oh yeah, and when you mix those three colors, brown, you could also use orange and blue. Will give you a brown as well. There's a lot of ways to get there. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, look at relationship to the ear about how far down it is. And then I'm going to judge how far from the right this comes over here. Okay? And then when I move across to do the other eye, I'm going to look at the distance between the two. And this actually bulges out a little bit on this side. But I'm going to look at the distance and the lines. It's almost like as if you draw a line here and draw a line here. Okay? See it? That way they will be in proportion. You don't want this one, you know, bigger, jumping up here for obvious reasons. So what we're going to do, and I think I got my eye over a little bit too here. And this to me looks like, I'm going to move my painting, or this down so you can see. Looks like it's a little, just do an oval for now, a small oval. Remember, he's going to stop about midway through the nose, okay? I'm just doing an oval for now. And if you have a smaller brush, you can detail it. I may not get much detail in on this. Okay, so this just kind of bulges out from the side. It's straight on the inside. So before you make an oval here, excuse me, straight on the inside, kind of like another half moon again. Lynn, I'm glad you're here because I can really relate to you with half moons. Luna's a photographer friend of mine, and he's amazing at shooting the moon. Okay, here, under the nose. Okay, so just kind of, yeah, see, that didn't come out much. Because I just did it with turpentine, so I'm gonna go back over it with some more. There we go, now it's getting dark. See there? And a fun little thing at the end, when this dries a little bit, we're gonna get a pinch of light blue and highlight that eyeball. I found this on Pixabay, by the way. They did not give the photographer's name, unfortunately. I wanted to give the photographer credit. I'm pretty picky about that. But they did not, and it is a free reference photo site if you want to go back and search bunnies and get your own image direct. Okay, so that's brown. Now while I've got that in there, I'm going to go back over his nose, which needs a little bit more. If you have a script liner or a thin brush, you'll do better. Even a flat, you'll get a crisp edge. I didn't get as crisp of an edge I like because I don't have the right brush with me. But I think you still get it. This kind of curves. It curves to your left. It might look different in the camera. Okay, and he's got a little tiny mouth right here. It's like a V. See it? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go up here and I'm going to differentiate. His little ear has got a little, it's a little, kind of like a little sort of line here and here. I'm going to go back up over, try and do this without blocking anything. I'm going to go around this edge a little bit more. So it's dark. Come down there earlier where we were. I'm going to go over the purple. And not mean to go outside that line, but it's all right. And take that and pull. It'll give you some interesting textures and colors. All right, a little bit more right here, where that brown is in there. Okay, we see we're starting to get some definition now. We're going on to second layer. I'm going to use that right here on the outside of his cheek. If you notice, I'm actually correcting my shape right here. Let's see. Okay, and then he has a little patch of dark right here. Okay, good. I was hoping it would lighten, but not that much. I'm just going to go into here and get a... What I'm doing is borrowing color. Yeah, it's too thin. Too much thinner there, so you're not seeing what I'm trying to do. Let's go back into this light color here. All right, I'm going back to the gray for a minute. I'm going to add a pinch of the sienna to it because I want it to lean more that way. There's the sienna, some of the gray, some of the sienna. Yeah, I think my brush is too big though. Let me wipe this old brush. There. Okay, and then we're going to go back here under the eye. It's just a line. It comes between, okay, see where this rounds here? It just kind of outlines it. So it's like another backwards C. And it kind of sweeps around and catches the jaw right here. Yeah, it's blending a lot with that gray. I'm not seeing much. Let's go into the, let's try and make it a little darker since we're having an issue. I'm going to go into the sienna, raw sienna, and mix it with the burnt sienna violet mixture a little bit here, okay? Then I'm going to try, yes, I'm lightening it too much. Just a pinch of that to gray it down. There we go. Now, this starts right under the eye, and it makes an angle going to the outside of this little, there we go, the outside of this little doohickey here. I can't talk and paint at the same time. his mouth. Oh Lord, okay. Over here, I'm trying to do this too without blocking. Hopefully I'm not blocking anything. To the left of the mouth, and I don't know about this camera. I'm going to move a camera here so we can see a little bit better. Let's see, hopefully I'm not blocking. Okay. To the left of the mouth, over here, this kind of, it comes up under the eye. Let's see, it's going to make a sideways V. That's the best way I can look at it. I look at things in geometric shapes, so it has, let me put that back. Right here, it curves, well, kind of like a C, but a little bit more pointed in the middle, so in my mind I called it a sideways V. It curves all the way down, goes right here, and it doesn't start doing anything until his mouth, which I had a little straight, so right now we're going to curve that, okay? You know, look at the direction the fur is slanting. It's coming down towards the left side of his breast. His, hers, you get it. From that dark point there, I'm just going to blend it. All right. We're getting a pretty good bunny going here so far. Right here, I'm going to go into just a pinch of white because this is lighter right here. And I've got two, let me go under the nose first since I had a lot of white. If you got a lot of white like I did, just go under the nose because there's a light spot there. Go. I'm coming back to that in a minute. You can take that white too and just start running it through your fur. You know what, I kind of got carried away here and I'll have to go correct that later. It's not a big deal. Now I'm gonna wipe this because I have a blob. For me, I have a blob of white right here. Okay, I just picked it back up and I'm going under the nose and I'm just tapping because I don't want to blend it too much right now. I want that white to show up. And it didn't as much as I want, but it's all right. It's all right. That white kind of curves around. Here's what I want. It's blending these colors here. All right. All right, let's see if we can do something. Let's try something. We're going to try to double out our brush. If you have medium, excuse me guys, I have horrible allergies. Let me quit making my medicine too. All right, if you have medium, use some liquid or linseed oil. If not, just keep going straight to your oil paints. It's probably backwards here. Doesn't want to focus. Excuse me. Oop, I poured way too much. Those of you working with acrylic, it's fine. You could just use a little less water. What I'm going to try here is we're going to try and get white on one side of the brush. And then on the back, we're going to get that dark brown. It's that, we call it burnt umber, raw umber. Yeah, I got so many colors, I jumble them in my head sometimes. Burnt umber. There's Van Dyke brown is also similar if you're interested, but okay, so right here, what I'm going to do, I've got my brown side down first, okay? I'm coming up right here. See, I'm getting streaks of hair because I have that loaded like that. It's a cool little trick. Come down and start blending this stuff in. I'm going to go sideways instead of the white side or the brown side. I'm actually going to pick up a pinch more brown because I want to show both colors streaking through. See it? Look how fun that is. All right. Same here. Okay, then go back up and do that to the ear too. Came out a lot lighter than I wanted, which just tells me I just need to add some dark. Right here we have some stuff going on, but I'll deal with that later. Trying to go back in and add some dark in there. This is where it gets fun when you start mixing colors on the canvas. I was talking to my friend, was it Jacqueline or somebody the other day. Anyway. I just kind of blended that edge just a little bit. Short little strokes, give you a little bit of that effect. I'm softening the edge right here. And then I'm going to go here. I've never blended this. And it looks kind of funny, so actually it looks like I'm going to have to go in and do some lighter color on that eventually. Yeah, I mean, if you want to just use, if you're home with just brown, black, and white, you can just use gray right here too. It would probably be simpler. I just like color a lot. Alright. So I'm going to go around that eye. And this is lighter in the picture, so we're going to come back and lighten it up. I'm actually going to go this time, if I don't have too much color on my brush, I'm getting a little brave right now by not cleaning my brush. I went into a tad of ultramarine on one side and white on the other. And what I'm doing is I'm going for right here. Yeah, it's picking up that brown, so it's not too bad. There's a little curve above his eye, right here, and it curves back down into that little V, so it just kind of makes a curve there. Okay, laying down to the side. But that's still not as light as I wanted it, so we'll continue to work on that. I think I need to darken this a little, and it'll make it show up. So I'm wiping my brush, and that is a really golden brown. So I'm going into the violet. I can't tilt my palette too much because I put some gel on here and it's a little runnier than I wanted it to be. That sienna and violet mixture. Okay. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to add some raw sienna to it right here. This so I have the darker on one side, the lighter on the other, and maybe just a pinch of white too. Actually, I didn't want that white. I'm taking it back off. I forgot where I was. Okay, let's see if this does the trick. What we're going to do is bring out this under the nose. You look, it's kind of straight here, come up here, slant here, and then this, I'm going to lose his mouth a little bit, it looks like. You know what, I didn't bring his nose down far enough. That's okay, we'll make some adjustments. These are all things we run into as artists all the time. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush, go back into just the lighter sienna, which is your raw sienna, or you could just do like a little orange with a touch of blue and add some white to it. We'll lighten that up, maybe yellow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add a little yellow and white to mine. Oh, that made it nice. Okay, so what I did is I took, to get a little lighter color, if you can see, added some yellow. I'm going to hold this up. Oh, it's dripping. I can't hold it too long. Added a pinch of yellow to the sienna and a pinch of white. Okay, bam. Because the outside of this starts fading away. And you start here, and it's like a sunburst would be the best way to describe it. See this coming this way? All right. I have to definitely go put his mouth back in. Right here, while I've got this on my brush, I'm going to darken right in here, everything right in here. And remember, I told you, it pulls towards the outside of his chest, the fur does. Okay, what's happened is this is dried up enough on me. See what's happening? It's kind of tacky, unless you want to do some dry brush work, which is just another technique. There's so many ways you can approach things in art. And this will be more like a dry brush, but I don't really like it, so I'm going back to find a brush. There's the one I'm looking for. Okay, I got a lot of purple on this that I don't want, so I'm just going to wipe it. Going right back into that mixture with a little bit of my liquid. For you guys, painting in, you can use the Neomeglip, you can use the liquid Neomeglip, or linseed oil and odorless mineral spirits. Don't go over 50-50. Actually, 30% mineral spirits is quite high. I'm going to take a pinch darker and go under his chin, but there's a slight highlight right there. It's not going to be a solid line. It is right now, but it won't be, okay? Pull that down. Remember, pull it towards the outside. This I need to fill in because it goes over here. That's where I did my shaping correction. I'm going to wipe it because I picked up dark. I don't want dark in there. Add a pinch of cad yellow to where I was to brighten it. Here we go. This is what I want. See them coming together there? Matches with that. Oh yeah, okay, let's take care of this while we're here. We already have white here, so this should work out beautifully. Hold on, don't do that yet. I see something. Go back to your grayish mixture. I'm mixing up a little gray. I'm adding ultramarine to my burnt sienna. I feel like I should show you guys. Blue, ultramarine if you have it, to the burnt sienna and violet mixture. So just want a little darker gray. You could even just go straight into your dark brown if you want to. It's kind of a muddy gray color. And I see that there's like a little, not quite on the full outside. If it is on the outside, it's fine. We can go back and do it later. There's just a little, you can almost get this by tapping too. And it'll give you a little bit of a fuzzy look on the ear. See that difference? Then, can you see the difference in the straight where I just sort of kind of slightly tapped that color in, gave me a little fuzzy look. This needs it too, but yeah, I have too much paint up there on the left. Okay, now back to that sienna color that was left on your brush. We already had white in here. There's a little darker streak right here that I'm gonna go look at. Okay, now lay your brush sideways. Okay, and angle it until you start, let's try it this way. Angle until you start getting some color in there. I think I need more color on my brush. Going a little bit of I'm adding a little white because I already have the yellow in there. There, just kind of blended that ear up nicely. There's a little lighter edge right in here we can go put in a minute. We can do the same technique as you did with, I'm just getting white for simplicity purposes now. If you have a flat brush, the one we used a minute ago, a bright will work, or your little filbert or a flat tip brush. what I'm doing. I'm using my fan because I just have what I have downstairs right now. Tap a line right there. Gives you your cute little furry ear. There it is. Listen to me. I can tell I like animals. Okay, and then right here I'm going to take one and just kind of push up in here because I got too much. Tap in there, tap there, there, there. And we have it on the outside too, but I don't think I have the outside color the way I like it yet. So we'll do that later. I'm going to run some of this and streak it in his fur. I think. No, it's not wanting to cooperate. What I did is I just got a little white on one side and a tiny little sienna. You don't have to have a fan brush. You can turn your flat sideways and get this. I've just had this brush in my hand with color. You want to kind of stay, though, you want to stop right inside here, inside this line, because the colors, the values shift here. If it blends too much on you and you want to go in and put like little streaked fur in there later, you can. Because I kind of feel like it's blending a little too much on me. So sometimes it just, if you're working with the oils, you wait. This is why those of us with oils sometimes wait and go back for a second round. Okay, there's some fur that comes over the paws here, and it didn't really show well. Just blended the colors, but it needed some blending. While you're in the white takes forever to dry if you're with paints. So if you have a medium, it helps it dry easier. So what I'm doing is I'm going back into the white and right here under his little mouth. That made perfect. The fan brush made perfect because it's kind of rounded. If you don't have that, you can do it with your round tip brushes or anything. You just got to follow the line, that's all. Also, let's see, we have white or light coming here. So I'm just going around his cheeks and touching the edges so I don't lose the white on my brush right now. This kind of came in like so. Okay, pull that in, bring him down a little bit more. And then this is more of a yellow here. All right, let's see. So we got all that done. Got white on the brush. He's got a lot of white fur coming in here. A lot of white fur coming in here. To get these effects, sometimes it takes playing with the angle. I guess it's about a 45, maybe a little bit more of an angle than that here. He has them on his feet too. And then so I want to get some dark back on his feet. I feel like we lost it. I'm going to bring it back. This is the brush I really want. Let's see. I don't want white in there right now. Okay, so I'm going into sienna again. This is also like an M, this shade underneath. See it? It rises high right here, comes down, and back up. And I'm going to add a little bit of that sienna color right here because it's even darker. And it just kind of fades away. All right. And then just keep moving around with my colors to try and blend things and mix them up. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. I see I need to put his mouth back in. What brush did I use for that? Oh, I wish I had a tiny brush. Let's see. I wonder if this will do. Might make it too fat. What I'm looking for is a crisp edge. This is too wide for the mouth. So I'm just looking for something where I can get a crisp edge. And I keep forgetting to tell you, if you want to darken your brown and you're making it at home, a little black to your brown mixture will give you a real dark brown. Put my lid back on my thinner. Even though I use odorless, it still releases chemicals, so there. Yeah, this is going to come down here. Upside down V. I got my hand in my paint. Oops. See what I did? I'll fix it in a minute. Alright, this kind of flattens at the bottom. Well, I got the brown on my brush. I'm going to go back to his eye. I'm hoping from the camera view you can see this. Let me see. And then this eye kind of comes out and in. Going back over this again because it's just not real dark, getting the darks in. Same thing right here. Adding the dark. And as you add those darks in, it makes the lights show up. It's all about dark and light values. All right, here's that. What I got here? I got dark in there. Let's add some dark streaks in here. It's got some dark streaks shining through there. See, just use your brush. Use your colors while you have them on your brush. Just following along with the picture where I see darks. You got to learn to look at the darks and the lights and then break them up into colors at times. Sometimes the color doesn't matter as much as one of my instructors, Gary, said you can do a lot with just the value in your painting. And if something doesn't look right, it's usually the value, which is the way we refer to darks and lights. Okay. I'm getting them where I want them. Now let's put some background in. Let's have some fun. Let's go back to... The bigger the brush you have for your background, the better. Let's just say that. I have to make room on my palette. If you have a credit card or a painting knife, let's see, I don't know, this is my stiff one, I got the wrong line. Best thing to do is just scoot some color over what I'm doing here, and then wipe it on your brush, scoot your next color over. See there? And that way those won't interfere with the green, because those colors will definitely interfere. And then, if you have a paper towel handy, wipe that out of the way. If not, get a new palette or a piece of paper or paper plate, whatever you're working on. Okay. This is sap green. Give me a minute here. Changing paper towels. All right. Another pretty green would be, I think, if I remember right from last week, ultramarine, cad yellow, makes a cool green. I like using various shades. It's a potent, let's see, let's put it right there. I think I want just a brightening up. If you need to brighten up, add more yellow like I just did. All right, let's play. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do a little bit of blue too. So I'm going to do, this will be fun. Here, we'll do it. We'll start blue with white. I know I told you to mix green. It's cool. Leave it there. We're going to use it. A little blue and white. I don't like just uniform strokes. A lot of times you'll see me, instead of going up and down or sideways, I'll just do like this little X, you know, where I'll come up and down and then go at an angle for a little bit. Just uniform strokes are never real interesting. You kind of have to outline this for a minute, but a good way to get away from an outline look is then you pull from the outline. So you pull away from there. I think I need a thinner brush for that part. And I know white because I know I picked up brown. I was trying to come in a little bit more on that. I want a little bit more blue over here for now, so. This will ought to make him pop too a little bit. Okay, so we had an outline of a light edge on that you couldn't see before on that outside ear. Look at that, now you can see it. Okay, again, I don't want it to look outlined, so I'm just going to come in here and pull away. And if it doesn't look just perfect, you can just keep toying with it. But just vary your brush strokes. Don't use, you know, unless you just want it to look that way, don't use them all in the same. I'm sorry, those of you YouTube watchers here, trying to do this without getting my arm in the way. Some of that shows through where we tinted it, which is kind of nice because it gives it some interest. It also kind of dulled down the blue, so if you want a brighter blue, just, you know, add more blue and white until you get to where you want. Like this. I think I'm about where I want to be right now, though. I might add a brighter blue to that later. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going in with some yellow green. We know the bunny's in the grass, right? But you know what? It can be whatever color you want it to be down here. That's what's cool about art. And if you don't want to like do a lot of detail on the feet, you could just bring that grass up over the feet. Some more. Don't forget your medium. If you're working in oils, it helps things dry. Let me show you something here. On the feet, you don't want to come up in the grass. Everything's moving on me, excuse me. Come up. Look, you can get an automatic grass effect right there. See it? You don't have to do a lot of detail on feet here. If you want to paint an Easter egg in there later, you can do that too. I know I still have to fix my thumbprints here. And that bright color made him look a little bit. I don't like the blue. It dulled down a lot on me. It's because of the color choices I used. So it just might look, thinking about making it look like there's trees back in here or something. I'm not sure yet. So I'm using some sap green and just mixing it. Mix blue, yellow. Get it to, you know, color you like. Looks like a distant tree there somewhere, right? I'm going to be using like a little X to get shapes in here, like an X stroke. One side, then another. One side, then the other. I really am just feeling the painting as I'm going. Blend it up with the sides here. A little bit more green. If your green's too bright, add a pinch of orange or red and just a little until you can dull it down. That will help you a lot. Okay, so here we're getting our little bunny going. I'm just gonna all right. Yep, I just don't like the sky. Let's try for me. I'm going to show you just a pinch of that color here. I'm going to be brave to do the Phthalo. King's Blue. Turquoise could be interesting. I'm going to try a little phthalo with white. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to like it. We're gonna experiment. This is just part of it, seeing what looks right. There's the brush I had for. I need a clean brush. You might want to clean your brush if you're doing this part with me and fooling with your blues. I'm going to use a little bit of phthalo blue, a little bit of white. It's a much more intense blue. Oh wow, see the difference in the blues? And the reason I just made spots here is because it's kind of a, you know, greenery looking, and sometimes you see the light shining through. Definitely. Phthalo is so strong. I had to add more white to it. You know, funny thing is, sometimes I'll get a painting and I'll get everything perfect and I'll fool with the background. I know my artist friends get this forever and ever. And sometimes it's all just about color harmony and getting it right. So it's easy to look at a painting and think, wow, you know, you just whip this out in no time. Which is cool when people think that, but in all reality is the number of hours spent behind the canvas are insane. I'm going because this has a finer tip on the brush and trying to get just a pinch between those ears. All right, that made him look a little better. Put some of this in here. Yeah, he looks more interesting now. I still feel like I need to do something with that eye on the left. It just needs darkened more, so I'm going to darken it. I need to add a little bit of medium. Oh, I might have got in here. Here's what it is. Bingo. All right. Well, I got that. Go back over this. I'm just looking for a brush that already has purple in it because I didn't bring my brush washer down here. I think I can use my fan brush. I'm going to do some more purple and burnt sienna. Trying to get a little bit more definition right in here. Oh, they brightened the color a lot too. Here, and here. Sorry guys. Get carried away with what I'm doing. Let's see. Let's do. He needs definition here. He's blending with the background. And I'm still calling him a he. I don't know why. I guess it must just be a he bunny and I just know it. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. He's got little dark whiskers that blend in here, so I got this in here. You can take the side of this brush if you don't want to see here. And blend up a little bit. There's a little whisker come down here, so if you notice I haven't done the whiskers yet because I add those at the end. Let's see. It's so funny, I set up the down here because I wanted to do something with the kids. One of them's still sleeping, one wasn't awake enough to do it. He's got dark colors in here too, so you could just use the side of a brush and streak that a little bit. And then pick up your white, and your white comes back in here and streaks that. I'm not happy with this right here. This pulls down. Ah, there it goes, shading that ear just a little bit. And then it shades right in here. Shade comes down. Okay, let's see some things we can do here in a minute. We're getting close to being finished, but some of this just may not pop just right until the end. I'm gonna have to come back and get that with another brush. Okay, pull these together, you're gonna get, there you go, there's your fur. There it is. That's what I've been trying to get to. See some of your fur there? And we have dark streaks going here too. So that purple does really go with like an orange. They blend nice together. And up under here, remember this? It's okay. I know we had white under there. We're gonna go back and fix it some more. I'm losing colors, so. And you can do this, I know I have a fan. Again, you can do this with the side of your flat or your, you know, depending on what brush you have. If you have a small round, you're just gonna have to do individual strands of hair, which takes longer. So this is why I like different brushes. Let me get this, because it does go right to here. I'm getting a little darker here because he blends. Pull. Oh yeah, and I just side back in here too. Okay, a little darker in here. Separate those legs so you can see where the legs are. Kind of come up into here. I hope this is making sense to you guys. I'm not going to do too much here. This all just kind of blends away. Overblend it and you start losing your fur texture, which is about what I'm starting to do here. So I'm going to stop right there for now with that part. I know I need to get light back into the face, so we're going to go on to now I just feel like I need a different brush for that. That one may work. I'm going to use a bright because the reason I'm using the bright, it doesn't pull off as much color. All right. There's a lot of white, let's see, there's a lot of little white furs showing through here, so I'm gonna go and make we have kind of an outline here. I'm tapping for a reason. Come back under here too. See, I'm looking for anywhere where I've lost my lighter tones that I need. He's got a little bit right here that separates them. Oh yeah, and another good one is right in here. The reason I'm tapping and not brushing is because I'm not getting the white, I'm not losing my white this way. And I can go back and pull it lightly to blend it. Alright, got all that. Just going over, making sure I got everything. Oh yeah, okay, so we've got some right here. I'm gonna use it sideways. See, the paint just don't, it's different on these brights. It's kind of fun for showing your strokes. Here, where I tapped, I'm gonna make short, I'm gonna lay my brush a little bit more flat. I was going straight in, I was pulling my paint off. Look what happens when you lay it flat and it just pulls it down in there. Just making them just a little there. Above this eye is a pretty light spot. And I'm going to wipe my brush because I've picked up a lot of color. I'm going to go back into my white and let me show you. Tap into my medium, just a tap. Too much will make your paint runny. Hopefully you can see this. Push up into it to load your brush and something like this. Kind of push up. And then kind of turn it and tap it. That'll get everything even on your brush. Yeah. There's a little white. I really do need a smaller brush. So on the outside of this eye where the light catches, so I'm trying to, and actually on the inside too. So I'm trying to catch this. I want that lighter. Let's see. I want that lighter. All right. Let's see. All this right here kind of pulls in here. I'm just going to tap like that around the top of the nose. Now that I have color on here, tap it in a little bit so it distinguishes the bright white from a little bit more of a tone. All right, right here, just a short pull to make it look like fur, just short. I'm curving around here with these taps. Flip to the other side of the brush if you run out of paint, because you should have some, and then just pull up in there. Do your sideways. This may not, yeah, it's not showing a lot, but it did kind of give me a little bit of that edge here. Oh yeah, go back into it again. Wipe if you've picked up a lot of color before you reload your brush, wipe it. I'm going to use a pinch of yellow in that, maybe, if it'll come out. I'm pulling pure white into this color because it's mixing on the canvas. This needs to blend, so I'm just tapping the edges between the dark and the light, trying to blend a little right here. I'm going to wipe my brush. I'm going to try and pull that out into it. Remember, it went like a sunburst. Wipe as you could pick up any of that purple. You don't want it getting back in there. Okay, that blended. Now I see a place where I need a little dark before we wrap up here. Let's see. I'm going to try with the violet. I can darken with the, let's see, right here. Oh, he's got like this eyebrow looking thing right here. It doesn't want to, I'm laughing because it doesn't want to, hang on a minute, show up. Right in here's a little darker. Okay, it's like a little, this is like a little triangular shape here. Pointing down, see it? Top of the triangle pointing down. This is like one kind of coming up. And then to show off this highlight. And this eye, it's funny, okay. There's a little darker line going above here. Now his face is starting to come together and show up a little bit more. All right, he's got a, probably actually has a little bit more gold in it. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more of that dark right in here. See, as you keep fussing with it and putting your darks and lights in, you're gonna see more things. So it just starts to show up better when you do that. A little bit more dark right in here. See, he's coming together now here right at the very end. I mean, that's just the way it works. I mean, sometimes it just looks funky for a while and here we go. Do that. Come back on top if you want. If you feel like it got too dark or whatever. Mix it back with your sienna again. I definitely don't want there. Kind of give an indication of the foot. So what I did is I pulled out, and just kind of blended. I do need a little bit more of a light color. I'm about out of white, so I'm going to use some violet I had. I'm going back to that one brush that didn't. Right here it's got a little bit. It doesn't touch the other white. It just gives him color there. And the same here, it's kind of just like right in the middle. Keep fooling around, there's a little bit of white, well, light or fur here, and a little bit of lighter fur right here. I mean, all in all, I think that we've gotten to do pretty good. I'm going to wipe my brush, come up here, come over to the side, maybe you can see that I'm trying so hard not to hide everything from filming. From two cameras, it makes it difficult, and I have to come in at some odd angles tap right around here because the light's shining from behind him. He's looking pretty cute. I'm not real crazy about the background. And those things can be fussed with at another time. I was looking to see what I even used for that. Here it is. No, right here. You could even go for turquoise. You can mix the blue and green here and get a little bit of that. It's up to you. You put clouds in there, but cloud painting is can be tricky if you don't know how. I'm fixing that so it doesn't look like I have a line where I traced around the ear. All right, what do you think? Let's do some whiskers and I think we'll be about done. For here, because the light's shining behind him, his whiskers look dark. You can use, if you don't have a brush that makes a chiseled edge, don't do it. I would suggest a way smaller brush than this. I would suggest a knife. The knife is going to do it for me. What you really want is a small, tiny rigger brush, script liner. You know, the ones, I don't have one right here to show you, but it comes to, it was like that round brush I just showed you a minute ago. Comes to a real fine point on the end. If you're real steady with your hands and you think you can do it this fine point, go right ahead. I see he's got a whisker or two coming from the eye. Right about the eyebrows. Oh yeah, we're gonna highlight those eyes too. I'm just using brown because I have it on my palette. Yeah, it's like you could do these any way you want. I don't do them exactly like the picture. I just kind of get an idea of the direction and a feel for it. I don't know why he's got one coming out his eye. I guess bunnies have them coming out right up here too. I'm just going to make him. Let's go from here first. Comes from about like where this little white, and it goes out. Then Aw, I have fun. I have a lot of fun in here. If you need to make anything darker, you could use, an old game card, old credit card, you know, old gift cards are real good for getting a crisp edge like this. So if you don't have anything handy and you want to come back later and do this, use something like that. But anyways, let's see, where were we? I mean, I think I about did it. I don't like to get too carried away, and I'm just giving an indication of the whiskers. He's got some little, I made it too thick, see? Eyebrows. That's okay. I can go back over it with some paint later. I keep losing color here for some reason. Back with this. We're going to put a little blue in his eye for a reflection to make that eye pop, and then we'll be done. Okay, so that being said, I need white. I'm ready to put my white. You guys know I went upstairs to get the white, so you're my witness. Now I've lost it already. God only knows. Where'd it go? Well, I'm sure you guys are taking a minute to catch up while I search for the mysterious white paint again. Good grief. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. Excuse me, I'm going down to put a little white on here. Bam. Okay, because the ultramarine was kind of a dull blue, I'm gonna tap. I have a little bit of that phthalo on my palette already, but it was too blue. So what I'm going to do And I'm just gonna take a tap right in here. Yeah, shoot. Let me come on. I'm gonna tap it in. See if it works. I just don't like this knife that well, that's all. Let me get a different knife. Or maybe I can just load it. All right, let's try it again. What I'm looking for is like a little tiny half moon. If I can get that much detail on this small of a canvas. Now his little eyeball popped. And over here, let me see, I'm gonna do this part with a brush. Let me find a little brush again. I feel like I'm in the way of my YouTube video all the time, the way I'm set up. Okay. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of lighter. This was a dark brown, and I'm just adding like almost like an orange yellow brown right in here. As a matter of fact, I might just go in and add a tad of cat orange. Yeah, it's too much. It's all right. I'll go back into my sienna, burnt sienna. Just gave his eye a little bit of dimension. I think over there. Okay, so you guys got the idea for now. You can keep toying. I'm noticing some things as I look, like I want to darken this. This isn't the best brush for darkening something. There, I want to darken right in there. So you can keep toying with it if you do. I'd love to see your paintings if you painted along with me today. So by all means, please send me a picture or post it if you're comfortable enough in doing so. And I think this eye right here, I've lost some of this. Right there, might make it pop a little bit more. All right, happy Easter, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your free paintings during quarantine time, getting out, gardening, doing some fun stuff. Check out the Quarantine Creatives page on Facebook. We're posting a lot of fun, neat ideas there. Stay safe, everybody.